Hi, it's Elizabeth Hall with Elizabeth Hall Coaching. I'm a spiritually focused life coach who helps women break free from chronic dieting and the paradigm of diet culture in order to cultivate a life that they love. So many of us spend so much of our time and energy focused on the external and what things are supposed to look like that we forget to take a deeper dive inside and find out what really matters to us. I believe that the coronavirus and the global pandemic is asking us to really take that deep dive and go inside and ask what matters to us. So I am interviewing some of my favorite people to ask what are their tips, tools, practices, and techniques for dealing with this global pandemic. What kind of things bring them peace in the face of chaos and help them deal with the fear of the unknown? These are some things that I've been studying for the last decade, and I'm fascinated to find out how other people approach this topic, and now seem like a great time to ask. So I hope you'll enjoy the series and come back for some more. Thanks. Bye. Joining me today is my first guest on my video series for finding out how people are dealing with the global pandemic is my friend Julie Montinieri. Julie is an energy medicine practitioner, and we have a lovely conversation for 30 minutes about what kind of things you can use energy medicine for in dealing with the global pandemic. I hope you enjoy it.
Julie is an energy medicine practitioner, and I thought we would just have a little conversation today about some of the things you're doing to deal with the current global situation, to stay grounded and centered, and just sort of what kind of tools you're relying on during this time, which, as we all know, is quite stressful and challenging.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. So let's start with, what are some of your favorite practices, if you have any, that are sort of helping you stay grounded during this?
Well, as you know, Elizabeth, I'm a walker. We can get grounded. I could get grounded here inside, and we can maybe talk about that a little bit later. But there's something about, as soon as I step out on my front porch and the sky is overhead, you can just breathe more deeply and my feet are on the earth. There's just something about that. And I think it's the movement, the physical movement. I had gotten away from taking my music with me, but the last few days I have been putting the earbuds in, and I find it's a more energized walk, and I love the music. It's just so upbeat. So that clears my head. It centers and grounds me. And a part of my walk, and this is an important part of it, is that I have a neighbor whose house backs up onto a reservoir, and there's a dock there. And I just go down their driveway. I sit on that dock. Lately I've been able to sit there longer because I've got nothing going on right now. And there are the heron that I named my business after is on that pond. There's a flock of swans there, geese, the whole thing. And it's just a beautiful, quiet space. And that's, I take the earbuds out and I do energetically ground into the earth while I'm sitting on that dock. And when I get up from that dock, I'm a different person. I'm no longer power walking. I'm just walking. I'm just strolling home. I'm about 3/4 of the way home at that point. So that is sanity saving for me. The other thing that I'm doing that I hadn't really planned on is I'm blogging again. Since I have the time, and I just find for me that that's an outlet. Like, this is what happened, okay? On the spring equinox, I always pick a rune. Those little rune stones with the glyphs on the one side. I turn them all upside down, and I just kind of get grounded. I put my hand on one. I put in whichever finger, whichever one, I pick it up. The one I pick up on the spring equinox was the blank rune, the unknowable.
Wow.
I was so blown away by that I wrote a blog post about it, and it took me probably a day and a half so I was sequestered in here, like pulling that together. And that's one of my things that I love to do. I know you're an awesome writer, and whenever I read your stuff, I'm like, I really should be blogging again. Well, so that's another thing that I'm doing too. So, I mean, I could go on all day, but those are a couple of examples.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And at the end of our talk, I will let people know where they can find your blog and
Okay.
your business. Now, are these practices? I know you said blogging is not something you were doing before. Was walking one of your regular practices before all of this started to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a walker, and this particular winter, I really never had to stop. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I think there were a few days in December when it was icy, but there's no snow on the ground. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that regularly. I mean, I've got other forms of exercise that I do, but that's the most grounding one for
Mm-hmm.
me. Um, Blogging, the last post I put up, I believe, was in January. So, I should be doing it more frequently. I enjoy, kind of pulling all these ideas out of the ethers and
Mm-hmm.
going to my book and double checking something and just putting it all together and sharing it with people. So having all this free time
Mm-hmm.
is enabling me to do that. So the
Yeah.
walking has been regular, but the blogging, not so much.
Yep. And so would you say that there are some gifts that this experience is giving to us?
I think so. I mean, it's so stressful. It's so scary. There's just anxiety floating around. And what I'm finding when I talk to people, I'm on my walk and I kind of veer off the sidewalk if someone's coming, but everybody wants to talk, even people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And what everyone is saying is that it's the unknown that is the thing that is hard to cope with, because if we knew it was for 2 weeks or 4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing, but not knowing how long this could go on is really unnerving, I think, for people.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost my train of thought. What was your question again?
Yeah.
Where
So
was
my question was, are you able to see any of what's happening as a gift or anything in
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, so just connecting with these people that I don't normally speak to, connecting with people through writing. And as I was telling you earlier, just getting myself set up on Zoom and conducting a meditation circle that way instead of physically in my living room. There are lots of silver linings. And in many ways, as I said, it's scary and frustrating, but then you turn and look at how people are so resilient. I mean, the people in Italy singing from their balconies,
Mm-hmm.
that stuff kills me. Like,
Yeah.
humanity has a way of rising up in challenging times. So I think there are gifts every time we turn around, if we're
Mm-hmm.
open to seeing them.
Yeah, I would agree. I went for a walk this week as well, and it was amazing because most people said hi, and that was actually different.
Yeah.
Most people are just trucking on. They're not looking at anything. They're just have their earbuds in, and I still had my earbuds in, and I usually look at people just to see if they're gonna say hello.
Right.
And most of the time everybody's just too busy, and lately everyone's giving each other that sort of soulful hello, like, wow, can you believe it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really does feel connected in a different way. But
Yeah.
yeah. And what do you think? You talked about the fear and the unknown. And so I'm curious, what do you think this experience is asking us when it comes to that?
Well, I'll tell you, this morning I've been meaning to sort of look up the immune system, in my energy textbooks. And Elizabeth, you cannot believe what I came across. I almost picked up the phone and called you like early. But I
Yeah,
mean, just let me share just from
I would love that. Yeah.
these hay, right? You guys can
Okay.
see
Yeah.
that. So if you look at virus, well, a viral infection. Well, let me back up. Because I started with Carolyn Mice, her
Okay.
book.
Yep. Yep.
So I opened to immunity, and this is what she says. If this is too much, you can edit this out later. Viral and other epidemics are very much a reflection of both the current social issues of the cultural tribe and the health of the tribe's immune system. So it's like our collective immune system,
Mhm.
and that each of us is connected through our root chakra to the collective root chakra, which governs our immune system. And she talks about the polio epidemic of the 30s and 40s, which happened just after the Great Depression in 1929. And so the country was emotionally crippled. And so she said that that epidemic symbolically represented the crippled spirit of the nation, and that how we were energetically susceptible to that. But she does go on to say the spirit and attitude of the collective was ultimately stronger than the virus, and soon they came up with a vaccine. But I just thought, whoa,
Yeah.
like, is our immunity lower because of all of this stuff that's up in the collective right now that is not, it's not helpful. Some of the things like what we're seeing are lies, deception. There's a lack of empathy at the very top. There's intolerance. There's arrogance, and there's polarity, extreme polarity, inflamed thinking over here and inflamed thinking over here. And that makes us vulnerable. Exposure to all those negative, shadowy things that used to be kind of hidden below the level of our awareness, and now they are on full blown display. And I don't know about you, but it wears me down. It wears me down. So there's that, and then there's the promising things like the Italians singing from the balcony,
Right.
So given that little framework, a viral infection energetically is a lack of joy flowing through life. And bitterness. And I think some of us have become a little bit embittered by just some of the cynicism out there. And let me go to infection. This is going to be a blog post tomorrow, Elizabeth.
I love it.
Viral infection is irritation, anger, and annoyance. Energetically, like, and I don't know about you, but I watch TV for 10 minutes and I get irritated. So again, one of my practices is I get the update and then I turn it off. But doesn't it blow you away how accurate that is in terms of what's the times that we're living through? So
yeah, completely. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, I think we have to find ways to bring joy and peace to counterbalance those energies that are out there, so that we are not energetically susceptible. But obviously, globally, we are. So I think we're just calling for a huge change in our values. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening every day. People are making brave and valiant choices to,
Yeah.
to shore up our immunity as a civilization. We're creating really a new paradigm every day.
Right.
It was predicted. These types of pandemics were predicted by the Mayans a gazillion years ago. And it's one thing to read about it, but it's another thing to be living in it. Like, shit is getting real now.
Right.
So
Right.
how we
Absolutely.
choose to respond. And you respond to the daily challenges, but to have that big picture, okay, we're creating a new paradigm together. That's what gets me through it. Like,
Yes.
that's just what makes I can do what I need to do and live with these limitations and isolation and so forth, because I know that staying in the house is helping the collective. I'm doing my little part here, just like we all are.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that, actually. I mean, it became very clear very quickly that, doing the kind of work that I do and that we talk about in terms of understanding energy and whatnot, it's kind of like you could see it coming, even whether it was predicted or not, that a change was needed in so many
Yeah,
areas.
right.
So there is a part that's grateful for the fact that it's finally changing.
Yeah,
Granted, one would wish it didn't have to be quite so devastating. Um, However, the need for it is clear. It's been pretty obvious to me. And then along the lines of energy, in terms of, like, I keep thinking to myself, how many people have thought to themselves over the last couple of years, I just need a break. I just need things to be different. I just need some help. I just need to stay home. I wish I could stay home from work and not do some of these things that I don't want to do. And I feel like somebody listened and we all got our wish that we can, because I keep hearing people talking about they're spending more time with family, they're getting creative, they're getting innovative, they're doing things they always wanted to do and not doing some things that they haven't been wanting to do. And so to me, that's a little bit of the gift that's happening right
yeah,
now. And the earth
yeah.
is healing. Have you heard about the pollution that's going away, and the Venice, the waters are clear? I mean,
It's unbelievable. It's just
and
awesome.
so symbolic, about how, it sounds strange because people are suffering from a pandemic, but there is a deep healing that's happening at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a lot of stuff has come to a screeching halt,
Right.
and we're forced to sort of look at some stuff, like take a really hard look at what is not working. And this is the only planet we've got. So yeah, I do think it's like a giant, we hit the pause button and it's forcing us to look at some of our stuff. I think instead of, we're so busy, we can never really, some people, we never really pause and look at what really we need to look at and change within ourselves and in our relationships, whether it's, how we hold ourselves back or whatever it might be. And it's time to really pause and reflect on that and decide in this critical moment, what am I going to do about that? I've got to clean up my own inner environment, align with what's true for me. And that gives other people permission to do the same thing and to shine their light and to bring forth their gifts. And, I don't know about you, but I always find all these excuses to, I don't have time to write a blog post. I've got to clean out the basement. It's like, really? Really?
Right.
I'll do that till I'm 80 and I'll never do anything in my whole life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
a pause is not a bad thing in many ways.
Yeah. This pause is so massive. Everything is paused that you can't help but go within a bit and reflect a bit. And ask yourself some of these questions. I mean, it's really almost impossible to avoid it. So
Yeah. And
yeah.
Elizabeth, that reminds me that meditation is really one of my practices that if I
Hmm.
don't do it, like I just find it, it gives me so much. Even if you just sit for a short period of time, it somehow informs my entire day.
Hmm.
Just to clear the mind, and it's not always possible to clear the mind, but just to slow down, to breathe.
Hmm.
I run energy in certain ways in my body just to give my mind something to do. It's like, okay, I'm going to let my belly expand and contract. I'm
Hmm.
going to send that, my root chakra right down into the earth, like right through the floor and into the earth. This is what I do at the dock.
Hmm.
I'm going to send my crown chakra right up to the center of the galaxy or the sun or whatever, so that I've got these earth and sky energies flowing through me up and down. And you settle, settle, settle in till you sense that. And it just pulls you out of the frenetic chaos and helps you align. And I say things like, may I align with God's will for me. May my will and divine will align, or
Hmm.
whatever, your aspiration is. And just to let that happen for a few minutes every day is so grounding. And that's a point where when you do quiet, um, an insight might come that you've been maybe avoiding.
Hmm.
But there it is. Okay. Okay. And see, I'm tapping my thymus. I don't know if you can see that, but that's
Hmm.
another immune enhancing thing, like,
Okay. Tapping the
okay.
thymus, like right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like some people do a fist and some
Hmm.
people do an open thing, but it's very calming. Um, so I just think that meditation piece, and if people are not regular meditators, it's just 2 minutes a day to just go within and listen and just to be still. It
Yeah, so
really,
you don't need to do an hour. You don't need to
no.
do a guided meditation. You can
Yeah.
just be still and connect
Yeah.
with the
A
energies.
lot of a lot of the energies of anxiety and fear are up here. And when
Hmm.
you sit and ground and you imagine sending those energetic roots down into the earth, either through your root chakra or through the soles of your feet, it just brings all your energy down. And when you get up, it's like when I get up from the dock, it's like, oh, okay, now I can face whatever I need to face today. But it's not with this frantic energy, it's with this calm,
Hmm.
centered, grounded energy that is much more clear and productive.
Right, right. Because we're not saying that fear is not going to exist, and we're not saying that some of these things are not happening. And it's how can we address them or be our most coherent, strong self to to bring benefit to both ourselves and the people around us, because that frenetic fear is not necessarily very useful. So that
Yeah,
makes a lot of
that's
sense.
a really fine line. We have to acknowledge our fear and our worry, our concern, our anxiety. And what I do sometimes is I give myself an inner bow, like I bow to it. There it is.
Hmm.
I acknowledge it. But then sometimes I consciously steer my mind away from it.
Hmm.
And sorry.
That's okay.
Um, and, maybe just turn my awareness to something that's more positive. Like if I'm worried about a person, I'll see them in their strength and power. It's,
I love
oh,
that. So
I hope
beautiful.
they're going to be okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
No, like I
Yeah.
worry about my dad. He's in his 80s. Stop. I let myself, I acknowledge, but then I say, you know what, let me just see my dad in his strength and power.
Beautiful.
That's a whole different thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah.
Sorry.
No
I've got
worries.
these I've got these winter allergies.
Yeah.
I don't have the virus. I
Yeah.
hope. Geez, we never know.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that. And just sort of that reframing. And I heard you also say, you look at the news 10 minutes, put it away, walk away. Yeah, and leave it.
Yeah, you don't need to hear. As soon as they start repeating themselves, it's like,
Right.
okay,
You've heard it.
time
Yeah.
time to turn it off or find something else to watch, you know.
Right. Right.
I have
Awesome. Well,
this
thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
just gonna say, I have this awesome an Alexa here. It's called, if somebody wants to listen to some calming music, it's called Miracle Tone, and it's got the frequencies of the earth. I believe it's 432 Hz's. Doug, my sound musician, Doug Yeager, he's so awesome. He taught me some of this stuff. So it's the frequency of the earth, which, they say is fluctuating. But this music, Miracle Tone, it's about 30 minutes long, and it's the frequency of the earth. So when I'm in
Amazing.
here getting my work done and Paul's in the other room on a conference call with 7 guys, they're all yelling at each other, I put it on. So that's a nice resource for peeps
Oh,
out
I
there.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, put it on, and here you are, literally resonating with the frequency of the earth. What could be better than that? For
Beautiful.
grounding. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. I mean, you've given us so much today with the different practices that you're doing and the different resources. I'm going to make sure that I link all of those, the books even you've mentioned. That's so helpful. And you also mentioned meditation. Are you doing any meditation over Zoom?
Yeah. I'm going to try it for the first time on Monday night, the 30th
Okay.
of March. We normally do it, as I said, as you know, out in my living room. But since we can't gather, I'm going to do it like this and see, how that works. I've had some nice online experiences in healing groups that kind of taught me, oh yeah, the energy can be really good this way too. We don't have to be physically with each other. So I'm
Hmm.
going to try it,
Okay.
and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
It's mainly the technical end of it that has me a little apprehensive, but I'm getting it
Okay.
down. I'm practicing every day.
That's great. That's great. So I'll definitely link that too, so people can attend your meditation. And are you doing remote healings at all?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for asking. I am.
Okay.
It's something I haven't really done all that much because I just love the hands-on. It's such an intimate
Hmm.
venue that I have here, but some of my longtime clients have been asking for remote healing, and lo and behold, it turns out that the energies can be sensed from a distance. So I
Hmm.
have been offering that to my clients, and what I do is I just type up an email afterwards, or we FaceTime afterwards, and I communicate. It's kind of like, a reading of the energy, and it really resonates with people on the same way it does if they're here on my table. So
Hmm.
that is, circumstances are forcing us to, kind of stretch ourselves a little bit in ways that turn out to be kind of a blessing, really.
Right. Right. And I have to say, I've experienced both with you. I've done some energy healing with you on your table in your space, and we've worked on some issues remotely as well, concerning my family and some thoughts that I had with that. And I received the same healing, I would say, on the table and in the remote healing, in the sense that I could tell you really tapped into the energies of what was happening. And you really did have some beautiful insights that helped me calm and ground and sort of make sense of things. So
Yeah, I
I am
appreciate
a testament to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's like I always say, it's one of those gifts that we all have to be able to do that. And again, it's often about getting quiet enough, to tap in like that. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, the difficult, challenging times call for innovative things. And so here we are,
Right.
doing things a little bit differently, in
Right.
service, in a spirit of service. So,
Yeah. And like you said, it's another benefit or gift of what's happening right now. So
right, right.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, I
Well,
will include links for that too. So what is your website and where can we find you?
um, my website is actually a blog. It's
Okay.
at blueheronhealing.blogspot.com.
Okay.
And you can also find Blue Heron Healing on Facebook. I know
Okay.
lots of people are not on Facebook, so you can reach me through email at julie.montinieri@gmail.com. And if you'd like to participate in that meditation, you can just contact me either on the Facebook page or my email address, and I'll put you in my contact list and invite you to that.
Okay.
That would be fun to have some new people joining us.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'll definitely put those links with the video wherever I post the video. And I just want to thank you for your beautiful, beautiful energy and showing up here and playing with me today as I play with video, because this is not something I normally do either.
Right, right. Well,
I've gotten so much inspiration and healing from you. And I wanted to be able to take people like you that are in my life and share them with other people, because you do have so much wisdom and grounding. Just talking to you, I feel it. Like I just feel calmer, and you just
well,
have a way
thank
of
you so much.
living.
And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the tables so that you can share your unique sanity approach. I always use the word sanity when I'm talking about you,
Yeah.
because that's how I feel after talking with you, about the whole body image thing. You bring so much sanity to that topic. So we're going to have to turn the table somehow so that everybody's gifts are on the table for
That's
people.
all right. I'll agree to that. That sounds
Okay, there you go.
all right. Well, thanks again for talking to me, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Elizabeth.
All right.